DD2 pre-final time here at Zuera in Spain for round 3 of the 2014 Rotax Max Euro Challenge. I'm Chris Hartley. Matt Suckling is alongside me. And Matt, we're about to see a 10-lap pre-final. We've got 30 DD2 entries on the grid. The championship leader is also the man on pole position. It's Ben Cooper.
Yeah, we've been building up to this over the last 3 days through qualifying, through heats, and now we are time to get the points underway. This is pre-final for DD2. As you said, Ben Cooper, championship leader and reigning champion, has had a great season so far, and he starts this one from pole position. Andreas Bagman, another man who's drove very well so far this weekend, will line up alongside on row number 2. French Kanskar finds himself after the heats yesterday there in third on the grid, and Zuera, the man who switches teams for this weekend, is there on the outside of row number 2. Row number 3 is then Jordan Lennox-Lamb, the man who won the first round back in Belgium at the Genk circuit. It's Brian Eden alongside on that row 3 in 6th place. Row number 4 is headed by Sean Babington, who had to work very hard yesterday through the heats from the back of the grid on all occasions. He'll find himself 7th alongside him, Enrique Baptista, the Portuguese racer. Row 5 is then Anthony Abbas and Dario Santori. Row 6 headed by Michael Christensen, and Harold Garkaklis is alongside. Row 7, Joshua Collins and Maxi Fleischmann. Row number 8 in 15th place sees Malan Donche and Kevin Ludi alongside in 16th place. Kevin should run well in this one, but he once again has got work to do from that place on the grid. Row 9 is Fred Woodley and Philippus Galasius. Row number 10, the first of our Masters runners, and the poleman in that class, Martin Pearce. Alessandro Bazzotti is alongside in 20th place. Row 11 sees Damien Wiem and Tamsin Germain second in Masters class. Row 13 is then going to be Patrick Pearce and Christoph Adams. Row 13 is going to be Julian Renadon and Sanad Arahawi. Row 14 is then Senna Noor and Frank Roxell, and right at the back in 29th and 30th places, Cristobal Garcia Ramos and Sergei Zagamonov. I don't know if he's going to be starting this one, but he's expected to be starting in 30th place. It's going to be a good DD2 pre-final, and for all the action to get us underway, here's Chris Hartley.
Thanks very much, Matt. The points led by Ben Cooper. He's got 164 at the halfway stage in the championship. He's looking for his first win of the season, though. His best result so far is a second in the pre-final, and he's had a couple of third-place finishes in the finals so far. So Ben, the reigning champion with 164 points. Jordan Lennox-Lamb, the British driver, second on 157 points. Third in the championship is the Swedish driver Andreas Backman on 151 points. Anthony Abbas, who's looked dangerous this weekend and looked very, very fast. He's fourth in the championship on 141. And Michael Christensen and Brian Eden are 5th and 6th in the championship with 140 and 139 points each, respectively. Michael Christensen further back down the grid than he maybe should be, because if he had one problem in his first heat, but he has been flying through in his other heats, so I think we should watch for him. Here we go then, pole position, going to try and lead them away, but it looks like it's going to be a full start. They're pretty well spread out there, and another one to watch out for in this race is going to be Sean Babington, who starts the race from 7th position. Sean had a battery fail on him in qualifying, so he didn't get to run a proper lap in the race, which meant that he had to start his heats yesterday from almost the back of the grid, from 27th position. He came through very well in all of the races, despite not really being able to make up too much time in the first corners, the first laps of the race. One race, the first one I think it was, he came through to 5th position, had a great run from 27th place. So he's done really well to be 7th on the grid. He's the runner-up in the championship to Ben Cooper last year. He was the senior Euro Challenge champion the year before that. He's also double British champion. So Sean Babington with the Strawberry Racing team, who's got the inside line, the best place to be, row 7. He's going to be one to watch. From 9th on the grid, Anthony Abbas. From 11th on the grid, Michael Christensen. Other drivers that I expect to see coming through. Enrique Baptista, the Portuguese driver, having his best weekend of the season so far. He has done very well. He's there 8th on the grid. Let's see what he can do. And then in terms of the Masters, Martin Pearce, the best Masters finisher yesterday in the heats. He's going to be 19th on the grid. Tamsin Germain, who was quicker than everybody else in qualifying on Friday, but didn't have such good races yesterday. She is 22nd on the grid. And Christoph Adams, the Masters champion, and indeed a former world champion of Masters racing, Christoph, the European Masters champion of 2 years ago, is going to be 24th on the grid. They're the top 3 in the Masters division. Okay, so they're a bit more bunched together this time. Let's see if we get underway. It's going to be a 10-lap race. It's the pre-final here. That's Zuera in Spain. Ben Cooper to the left of your picture, the driver on pole. Andreas Bachmann alongside Frank Canchar, third on the grid. Let's see what he can do as the race gets underway, and the two BMS Carroll teammates lead the way, first and second. Cooper and Canchar from the inside line, but they all fan out now and go on the attack on the way into turn 2, and Canchar's been pushed out wide. Somebody else in the middle of the pack has gone out wide at turn number 2. It looks like Jordan Lennox-Lamb is the one that's made a very good start to the race, and he might well emerge in second place when they come back into my sight. It's going to be the leader, the pole sitter, Ben Cooper, that leads them through with quite a healthy margin. Then, yes, it is Jordan Lennox-Lamb. And then it's Sean Babington up to third place. So a tremendous start for Sean Babington. And it may well be Anthony Abbas that's gone with him in fourth position from ninth on the grid. So that inside line getting a big advantage. Frank Canchar had a very good start initially into turn 1 from third on the grid. But then once Lennox-Lamb got up the inside of him at turn 2, once he got off the line, he lost a bunch of places and has slipped quite a long way down the order. Andreas Bachmann, I think, has also lost a couple of places on this first lap. So let's see if the Swede, who's been super consistent so far this weekend, can come back. Exiting turn 9 then. The race leader, Ben Cooper, goes over the start-finish line. Jordan Lennox-Lamb in second place. Sean Babington on the attack in third position. Is he going to go for it at turn 2 and get second place? No, he closes right up to Lennox-Lamb, but the two British drivers don't exchange positions. Anthony Abbas indeed is the one who is in fourth. Frank Canchar is tucked back into fifth place. Andreas Bachmann sixth, and Zendarua is in seventh place, Matt.
Yep, certainly are. The top three head their way down towards the left-hander now at turn number 4. Up in the lead of this race is Jordan Lennox-Lamb. He's got the pressure from behind from Sean Babington, and they are going to take their way now down towards turn number 6. There are a few that were caught out on that first lap, but now Sean Babington goes to the lead of the race after a poor Friday qualifying. He's now at the head in this DD2 pre-final. He turned his way on towards turn number 7. He's got the chasing pack behind now. He's got Jordan Lennox-Lamb in there. He's got the likes as well of Ben Cooper all in the mix for this one. And don't count out the very feisty Anthony Abbas, who sits there in fourth place. All of these 6 cars together for the lead of the race. They come up to complete lap number 2. Just to let you know, Michael Christensen spun at turn number 2 on that first lap, has dropped down the order as Ben Cooper once again tries for a move for second place to get past Jordan Lennox-Lamb. Doesn't quite work. He then carries the tow up towards turn number 2. Top 3 just breaking away now by a very small margin, but Sean Babington leads the way. Lennox-Lamb is second, and Ben Cooper, they're in third place.
Top 6 absolutely together, aren't they? I think it's Enrique Batista. Somebody slipped wide at turn 2 from the second group of cars, but the 6 are together. Babington, Lennox-Lamb, then Cooper, then Bass, and then we got Frank Canchar in 5th place. In 6th place, Andreas Bachmann. And a big gap back then to Zendarua, who runs in 7th. No, it wasn't Enrique Batista. I think it was Fred Woodley, the one that slipped wide at turn 2. So Batista has come up to 8th. Woodley, the Canadian, has slipped back 1 or 2 places towards the tail end of the top 10. There was a terrible first lap as well for Martin Pearce. He slipped almost to the back of the field. So it means that at the end of the first lap, Christoph Adams was the leader of the Masters division, and Martin Pearce has got to try and charge his way back through the order now. The top 6 then huddled together, make their way out through the flat-out right-hander at turn 9, over the start-finish line, and these DD2 cars flat out again through the right-hander at turn 1. These 2-speed shifters, they'll change down again now into first through the right-hander at turn 2, and a change for third position here as Anthony Abbas has to give way. Frank Canchar picks up a place. So Canchar, the Hungarian, trying to move his way through now to get himself up into the top 3. Remember, the results of this race set the grid for the final as well. So wherever you finish, this one is wherever you start. And of course, there are championship points available as well. Sean Babington has had one bad set of results already with the Genk final where he got hit off when he was running at the front of the field, so he can't afford any slip-ups here. See Andreas Bachmann going up the inside here to try and gain a place, and Andreas Bachmann has gone through now, back up into 4th place. So that lead group starting to spread out a bit now as 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th all fight one another. Anthony Abbas fighting back. He's just gone back down the inside to get back into 5th position. He was 6th for a time, but Anthony now gets back up into 5th place. But those 4 fighting each other just allowed the top 2 to get away a little bit now. So Babington and Lennox-Lamb have a bit of breathing space. Then in 3rd position, it's Ben Cooper. 4th is Andreas Bachmann. 5th over the line is Anthony Abbas, and running out the top 6 then we got Frank Canchar.
Yep, he's been shuffled to the back of that order now, so French Canchar finds himself in 6th place. Anthony Abbas again back on the charge to get a little bit higher in this order. What can he do about the 4 carts ahead of him at the minute? Well, we know Sean Babington's doing a great job out front of leading the race by about 0.4 of a second that time round ahead of Jordan Lennox-Lamb. 3rd place then is 6:01, which is Ben Cooper. All over his tail was the man who started on the outside of row number 1, Andreas Bachmann. So he's got back up to speed now. He looks for 3rd place down the inside of turn number 6, and he gets it away. Great move there from Andreas Bachmann, another man who's not hanging about this weekend. He's had some brilliant results so far, and it looks like he's continuing with that form in this pre-final as well. But with that move, it brings once again Anthony Abbas and French Kanskar right onto the tail of those two carts. So we've got the third place battle with 4 carts in there now, headed by the man who's just made the move, Andreas Bachmann. Ben Cooper next up in 4th, 5th place Anthony Abbas, and 6th place French Kanskar, who's got his head right down as they tuck in towards turn number 1. Who's going to make the move this time at turn number 2? It's going to be Ben Cooper looking to get it back from Andreas Bachmann, but again he wasn't quite close enough. So in turn, those 4 now are starting to drop back from the top 2, as again Ben Cooper looks for a move down the inside, and this time he gets it. So Andreas Bachmann didn't hold on to that place for too long. He now drops down to 4th, possibly 5th place, as Anthony Abbas tries to squeeze around the outside line, which is not going to work as they now turn their way through the very long left-handed hairpin. But the top 2 are now breaking away. Sean Babington, Jordan Lennox-Lamb, your top 2. They have a margin of just under 2 seconds at the minute, but the scrap for 3rd is very intense, and it's one that's going to continue right towards the end, Chris.
Enrico Battista having his best run of the season by a long way. Didn't get any points in Italy. It was a long way down the order in the first round in Genk, but the Portuguese driver is 7th, and he's pulling away from everybody behind him with Zenderua, Philippos Kalesis and Fred Woodley all inside the top 10. Still leading the Masters, it's Christoph Adams. Tamsin Germain a few places behind him. Frank Bruzel 3rd in that category, with Martin Pearce still a long way down the order. And Andreas Bachmann now onto the tail of Ben Cooper in this battle for 3rd place. They keep slipstreaming one another down towards turn 2. But 3rd, 4th and 5th all together now. Frank Kanshar's got back into that 5th place and is now edging away from the man in the dark race suit, Anthony Abbas, who got up onto the podium in the second round of the championship in Italy. The fastest lap belongs to the race leader, Sean Babington, 62.858 seconds, as he continues to lead by almost a second now from Jordan Lennox-Lamb. Through turn 5, Ben Cooper still being shadowed by Andreas Bachmann down towards the left-hand hairpin at turn 6. And a glance down the inside here. They're absolutely neck and neck. Who's going to come out first? It's going to be Andreas Bachmann with his nose in front now in that battle for 3rd place. Ben Cooper slips to 4th. His teammate for KMS Birrell is Kanshar is right behind him, and then you got Anthony Abbas still on the tail of that group. So 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th all together. Trying to catch them up desperately is Enrico Battista in 7th, who's in no man's land at the moment. Then 8th, 9th and 10th are in a trio as well as they exit turn number 9. We got 3 laps to go.
Yep, as they once again turn through turn number 1, it's Ben Cooper trying to get back of his teammate French Kanskar, which is going to happen now at turn number 2. So a good move once again, thought about it, did Ben Cooper, and he gets back ahead, but he's still got the 2 quick men behind, French Kanskar and Anthony Abbas. It's Anthony Abbas that time that goes for a move at turn number 3, and I think he's got it done just about. So yes, he now moves back ahead of French Kanskar. As we know, Anthony Abbas is very, very quick this weekend. He's not going to hang about with these moves either. He wants to get to the head of the field, and he'll do it the best way possible. But the man who sits in that 3rd place, the man who hasn't had any top 3 performances so far this year in pre-final or final at the first 2 rounds. Could this be the day that Andreas Bachmann gets his top 3 finish? Well, he sits there at the minute. In 4th place is then going to be the cart of Ben Cooper. Anthony Abbas is 5th, and it's once again shuffled to the back. French Kanskar in that 6th place. To the line this time will come the leaders, Sean Babington and Jordan Lennox-Lamb. We've got 2 laps to go this time, so a 10-lap pre-final it has been for the DD2, and just 2 to go now as they go through. What's happening for 3rd place? Well, Andreas Bachmann has just been allowed to break away slightly here. Ben Cooper still sits 4th, but the fight for 5th once again intensifies as a run down towards turn 2.
Yeah, Kanshar having a look to get 5th place back away from Anthony Abbas down to turn 2, but it didn't happen. There's a great fight going on for 8th place as well. Zenderua back up to the head of that trio, ahead of Fred Woodley in 9th, and Philippos Kalesis, the 6-time Greek champion for the VPDR team, running in 10th place. So the leader for Strawberry Racing is Sean Babington. For the CRG team, Jordan Lennox-Lamb there in 2nd. Also for Strawberry, Andreas Bachmann in 3rd. You've got the KMS Birrell drivers of Ben Cooper and Frank Kanshar in that next group. And in between them, you've got Anthony Bass, the driver for Sodicart. So a good mix of teams represented up within the top 10. We've got a lap and a bit to go here. Sean Babington has got just over a second's advantage. He's just set a new fastest lap of the race last time around with a 62.788. So he stretches his legs. He comes out of turn 9 for the penultimate time. And the British driver starts the final lap of the race, lap number 10. Second place with a lap to go is Jordan Lennox-Lamb. Andreas Batman leads the 4 karts, battling over third place down to turn 2, but he still has the advantage over Cooper in 4th, Abbas in 5th, and Kanchar in 6th place, Matt.
Yeah, we're trying to pick this battle for third place on the last lap of the race now. We've got Sean Babington still in the lead. Looks like he's going to be set for the win in this DD2 pre-final. Of course, all this racing gives you points, and it also sets the grid for the final as well. So it's all important to get major points here today at the Zuera circuit. The top 2 on their way through turn number 6. At the minute, it looks like Andreas Bachmann is doing a grand job of holding on to that final step of the podium. It's all action for 4th place once again, though. Ben Cooper and Anthony Abbas are going to be side by side by the looks of it as they head up towards turn number 6. Ben Cooper covers the line. He holds the inside. He makes sure the door is slammed shut in Anthony Abbas's face. They work their way towards the final corner. Through it now comes our race leader and soon to be race winner in the first pre-final race of the day for DD2. Sean Babington wins here at the Zuera circuit. Second place goes to Jordan Lennox-Lamb. Third place, Andreas Bachmann, and it's very close across the line there for 4th place. Just heading it was Ben Cooper. Anthony Abbas comes through in 5th place, and French Kanskar once again remains at the tail of those top 6 places. 7th place goes to the Portuguese racer Enrique Baptista. Zendarua didn't make as much progress as he did in the heats yesterday, but still he'll be happy, I'm sure, with an 8th place, which will put him on the outside of row number 4 for the final later on. 9th place is then Fred Woodley. First time we've seen him, I think, inside the top 10 so far this weekend, so very impressive there from Fred Woodley, having a great scrap with Zen, and also Dario Santori, who finds himself just behind in 10th place. 11th place was Felipe Calasius, another man who had to work hard in that race to work his way through the field. 12th place goes to Kevin Ludi for the Spirit Racing team. 13th place then for Damien Wiem, the Frenchman. 14th place for Harold Garcaklis. Behind that in 15th place, it was Brian Earden for the PSL karting team. Milan Donje in 16th. Michael Christensen with drama at turn number 1 dropped him to the rear of the field. He progressed back up into 17th place, and another Frenchman makes his name inside the top 18. That's Julian Renardon for the KPR team. A little bit lower down in this pre-final result, we had Maxi Fleischmann in 19th place. Patrick Pearce was 20th, and then we run into the first of the Masters class runners, which is for our more mature runners. I won't say old today, but the more mature racers out there. Christoph Adams wins that class in 21st overall. Senna Noor comes home in 22nd. Tamsin Germain 2nd in Masters, 23rd place for her. Alessandro Bizzotti, Martin Pearce, Sanad Al-Rahawi, Frank Wiesel, and Josh Collins was the last of our finishers, although he didn't actually finish the race. He was classified down there in 28th. And then non-starters for Cristobal Garcia Ramos and Sergei Zagamonov, who were both non-starters in that one. So a very eventful pre-final to get us underway here in Genk. It's one that was won by Sean Babington by 1.3 seconds over Jordan Lennox-Lamb, and Andreas Bachmann gets himself into